I'm
Yeah,
I'm good. Most of my bucket list has
yeah,
conventions on it, so I'm just fine.
yeah. See, first
San
said
Diego next year.
Baloo got soft beaks and feet. I'm
You
straight.
better.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
cool on that. Oh, I
Y'all
can't do
better
it.
be in San Diego next year, cause damn it, I would love the crew to be up in next year. Cause
Oh my
So,
God, that's
so
that's that's
I'm
that's the
going
plan
to
for next year.
because I found out we can apply early, like now for next year. So I'm going to
yeah.
apply.
Since Hollywood has been stripped away.
They are looking for talent. Let's just say that. But we
Also, that weekend is split because a lot of regulars are that I usually see in the summer are gonna be over at San Diego this year.
Mm.
Well, some
Well,
of
they
them have.
put it on such like this year. They put it on the crazy. I'm like, and I get it. Most cons they
But
don't
see,
they don't really have options. San Diego seems to be the same. I think they keep theirs the same
well,
for the
San
most
Diego,
part.
they do theirs a year out. So anybody who schedules later in the year and announces, "Hey, we're doing it," like DreamCon, nothing against them, but they picked that weekend. It could have been another weekend. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But you split people because Kaiso Black is my con buddy for San Diego. And she told me she's not gonna be there. You ever seen a grown man cry?
Nope. It's a split weekend.
Yeah.
If I see
That's why
Cleo up in there that weekend, y'all are,
he's still trying to figure it. He's still like
Yeah, that man is determined. And is determined to try to make it work.
he was like BlerdCon, Dream. It was Dream, Blerd, San Diego, and the what was the other con? The video game.
Evo.
Yeah. The Evo backed out. It was like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this action.
Which made me mad because I was like, that was the one I said, there was never going to enter a video game tournament. That would be it. Just as, and plus in Vegas too.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
They'd be like, why are all these people here on this coast? Wouldn't you like to know?
On this coast.
On this coast, there's way too many people here. It's just
way, and not the word they want to use, but I can
no, exactly.
Wow.
Not the word they want to use.
It's like they're migrating over here. Yes, yes. We will have your mansions in your condos. We want it all. We told you. We told you we was coming for all of them. You didn't believe
and
us.
then some. But
She said, Lizzie said, Cleo probably stressed about. Yeah,
right.
Oh, you know he is.
Everything's a one day event. Like, yeah, I gotta go. Like that
I
happened.
wouldn't be surprised if he's like he's officially booked his talent for DreamCon, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's there for a day.
Yeah, it happened with Jason Richardson the one year at BlerdCon. He did BlerdCon, then he had to go up to New Jersey because he had another event that he was throwing. I'm like, are you sleeping, sir? He was like, nah, not really. Because he had to launch. I think he had to launch like Thursday or Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was at BlerdCon Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday for the tournament.
And then he had to be out. Yeah, I was like, dude. I called him the following week, not Monday, not Tuesday. I just said the following week. I'm like, are you straight?
Are you alive?
He was like, man, I got to get ready for my own con in November.
I see. Ooh. But no, San Diego would be cool though. Just because I would finally, after all the children have reached traveling age, that's gonna be cool to do. But oof,
it's
a lot.
So I have a question. What happened to Urban Nerd?
I don't know details yet, but from what I've gathered, I assume that there were low ticket sales, which caused the hotel to cancel the venue, which caused them to move their venue, which caused the guests to start to cancel out because everything was taking place there in the hotel. So then that would make them to have to like, okay, well, I'm flying in. That defeats the whole purpose of me being there because now I got to find a way to get a ride. I got to get an Uber and whatever to get to the hotel and then get to the actual venue, which is I don't know how far away. And it's a domino effect. So what I want people to understand when it comes to running a convention, the shit's not easy.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can't put that narrative, especially a black-owned con. We cannot put the narrative out stating that they're scammers or they're this and that. No, this shit takes time
Mm-hmm.
and effort. Jason Richardson himself will tell you he comes out of his pocket every year to throw J1 Con, and he's been doing it. This is year 13, I want to say, 12 or 13.
13 years.
And he shouldn't even be at that stage. Somebody should be sponsoring the hell out of it by this point. But the fact that it takes a lot of effort, a lot of hands, a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and money to make sure these things come together. So when you don't have a lot of ticket sales, it happens with concerts. It happens with a lot of events. So when you don't have a lot of ticket sales, and you got to plan this thing a year in advance, and the hotel is saying, okay, we'll put a block on it because we're expecting X amount of people to come in. So that's money for us, that's money for you, whatever. But you don't have the low ticket sales. So now the hotel is like, we have to make the business decision and pull out. Well, if the hotel pulls out,
there goes the entire thing.
That's your first domino. And it's just going to fall. So when the guests started canceling, that's the only thing I could come up with, is that they were having to come in, fly in, not their personal cars, not their personal planes, come in to a hotel where the venue was supposed to be at, but now they have to catch a ride to go to the venue. And mind you, this is time constraints now. Photo ops, autographs, meeting the fans, possibly doing an interview, so similar to BlerdCon when they have the on-stage interview in the ballroom. It takes time. So I implore people out there, don't count people like Urban NerdCon out yet, because so far, shout out to Roy doing everything he possibly can do to make this thing happen, and handling it in such a professional manner, because we've seen past cons not handle them in a professional manner. Don't put out tweets that aren't professional. Don't put out the narrative that this is a scam. It's not a scam. They really are trying to put something on, because see, if one fails, they all will fail.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing I was going to add on too, where it's like, in the fact that these are black cons, even though one may have nothing to do with the other, they are all going to be reflections of what people experience and what they go through. So again, I mean, what's going on with Urban NerdCon, it's like, you don't want the same thing. If you're trying to do a con and you're trying to do something different, or you're trying to do something new in an area that may not have cons before, you don't want that stigma.
Right.
And unfortunately, that stigma is attached to each and every black con that is either established, trying to be established, or just trying to get its name out there. And that is where, like you said, stop the whole thing about, oh, it's a scam. It's not a scam, because like you said, there are multiple layers of what folks got to go through. Again, people who have done cons should already know this is how you get this.
Yeah.
Cons give you this and give you what Navy's got, and will stress you the hell out.
I can tell you from experience. I've been a part of Blerd since day one. This has been 2016 till now. We don't get paid. We don't get anything. The rooms that we get for the con come out of our pocket. We aren't comped for this. We're there the day before and they're the day after. We don't make any money after this. Everybody, every last one of us comes out of pocket to do what we need to do. Everybody. When I'm telling you, we are spent and we are tired. We still do what we do because we love it and we love bringing that. But people got to stop thinking that, oh, well, they canceled it. It's a scam. No. The inner workings of putting on a convention, there are so many moving parts to this that people don't understand. And I've gotten into arguments with people who try to say, well, you're just running away with our money. I said, excuse me, sir, you're not paying me. I don't see your money. You know where the money goes? Services, venue, guests, services, venue, guest. There you go. There you
They
go.
are offering refunds. That was one of the first things Roy put out. He said they will be offering refunds, and I think he said it's starting at the beginning of May.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's the most I've heard of it, and he put that post out himself. So, and it was like I said, very professional. It wasn't like, oh, we're getting to your money when you get it. None of that. It was none of that. Like they have a date when they're going to start sending out the refunds. The refunds are coming. He's torn up about it. I've seen people I personally know be involved with certain conventions and them not even being the ones to run it, but they're the figurehead and they get put in the
Lambasted.
yeah. So,
Like
give it
ChromaCon.
time. Yeah, ChromaCon. Give it time. It's working for everybody. You just have to, we get it. It's a lot of hands in the pot when it comes to the general public.
And
When you start getting on IG and just throwing posts, it's like, no, find out the information first, because it isn't like this stuff gets paid up front in this lock-in. This involves everybody. The con owner, the con runners, the con goers. This involves everybody.
To everybody who volunteers for cons, thank you. Y'all have no idea how much it helps to have extra hands on deck. And though we cannot do anything but give you a badge and make sure you're fed, y'all help keep this thing going. So to anyone who sits there and bitches and complains about a con and why this ain't that, next year you be a volunteer. You pick a department and you put in 6, 7, 8 hours in a day. And then you come back and tell me how you feel after the fact.
And I think that's what they don't see. They always see the upfront magic. They last year BlerdCon probably was the most I've ever seen Hilton. I seen him at the hotel and check in. I seen him rocking the floor. Seen him up front of the stage. That was probably the most I've ever seen him. But that's what a con runner does. They're there. They're constantly putting out a fire, checking on the next thing. See, like they're the hub of a ton of information, and they need that. So it takes not just the con runner or owner, it takes the guests, it takes the con goers, everybody, the vendors, it takes the volunteers. It's everyone. And when it comes to our spaces, we need to be more forgiving, because if it was somebody else that didn't look like us, you'd be quick to forgive them and say, "I'll go again next year."
Nah, they're our folks are the hardest on our own people, and that's what really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Why are y'all being so hard on us? You're not that hard on these other conventions that have been around for years, but the minute you see an Afrocentric event or convention that's being put on, you want to be so critical. It didn't have this, didn't have that, didn't have this. Okay, we're still trying to put it all together. Give us grace. Let us know that we're still doing something.
Regardless of where you want to go, we don't want to see anyone fail. Like even with even as big as DreamCon has gotten, they had to move from Waco because they said that venue was playing around. Then when I went the first year at the esports center, they didn't even give them the whole venue. They had like a car show going in the back room somewhere. Then they got the whole venue the next year, and I don't know who kept calling the fire department, but that happened a couple times.
What?
Yeah, if you go to one of the YouTube videos in the DreamCon page, you can see like the fire marshals up in like the rafters, like hitting them with the wrap it up music.
Wow.
See, and that's another thing where it's a lot for us. It's an uphill battle enough as it is to have the safe space, to have those places where we can go be ourselves, be our nerdy selves. Super stickers, Verb. Thank you. Super
Appreciate
sticker.
You, Verb.
Being out there,
most of the time our issues ain't even the con, it's the venue. Because look at our whole interaction with Creed.
Yeah,
that wasn't the con. That was the hotel acting my ass.
Yeah, like she wanted oatmeal. They didn't have the oatmeal, so Tafari found the oatmeal. We presented her with the oatmeal.
It was the fact they told her to go get it herself was what pissed me off. But I was like, y'all ain't got no hospitality.
I'd love to meet the person that told her to go get it herself, because I would say,
I didn't know hotels. I didn't know hotels did shipping too. So when we had to call that Sunday huddle and try to help her manager get all her stuff shipped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of it's a family unit. It's a all hands on deck, and like we know like things like BlerdCon, Urban NerdCon, uh, was it Atlantic Comic Con, Comic Con, which is coming up soon. You know,
Mhm.
Yep,
ChromaCon,
in my hometown and where I'm
you know,
staying. So y'all had to come and see me. So
ChromaCon, all of
Right.
these black owned cons, Schroenberg, all these black
in
owned
May,
cons
it's in August.
need they need not just the guests, they need us.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they need every con going, you know, come out there. You know, it's great you dress up. It's great you come out there. You see your favorite artist, your favorite writer, your favorite actor, voice actor, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
But take a stop, take a breath, listen, look around, say, hey, you need help with something?
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, we all we got.
Perfect example. This is what I mean by family unit. Well, a portion of us were at J1 Con last year out in
Mhm.
Atlantic City.
Mm.
Hell Small Cosplay is there. We are also settled. We are also not just representing ourselves, we're representing Blerd
Blerd
Station.
Station.
So
Mhm.
we were doing stuff for that. Hellspawn had his son there. And if you've seen Hellspawn in a lot of conventions, Kawhi's with him.
Yeah.
You know, he's playing with some other kids, but guess what? As a family unit, you know, he's handling business on one side of the con, but I have my eyes on his kid
Mhm.
Mhm.
because he's a little kid. Anything can happen.
Pretty
You
much.
know, so we're why I'm he was like, where Kawhi? I was like, he's fine. I got my eyes on him. And that's when Lainey stepped in and she played the aunt role and kept her eye
Salute.
on
Mhm.
Trey. Good looking, brother.
Whoa, Trey,
Hey.
yo,
Thank you, sir.
So
my man.
I'm glad you said this. Trey says I want to put something together out here in Vegas, which is probably his black VO conference, but he doesn't know how or where to begin. So I'm glad you mentioned this because me and Hellspawn were talking over the weekend, and he's trying to see if he can put together like a Bible to help those who are trying to put together conferences, conventions of these nature, the do's and don'ts.
Mhm.
We've already started, if you're paying attention to his IG page, we've already started seeing moments of this where he's talking about how you run your Kickstarter. You don't start the Kickstarter and then start talking about it. You talk about your Kickstarter at least a month in advance.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Get the word out, get it started going and everything else. And then that way, when your Kickstarter actually gets started, it's already in people's minds. It's marketing. It's marketing. You know, and that's the first stage, whether it's a Kickstarter, whether it's a convention, even when it says, hey, we're going to be at such and such con, it takes us to find out, hey, are we approved yet? Are we approved? If we find out in enough time, we can get out there and start putting the word out saying, hey, we're going to be at this con. Come check us out. And that's not just with the guests or the vendors. That's with everything. It comes down basically word of mouth and marketing. It works if you just know how to handle it. So yeah, so I'm glad you said that, Trey. Look out for that. Some of the information that he's been putting together for Blerd and Powerful. You'll be seeing some of that news coming up pretty soon. But yeah, talk to us. We know a couple con owners, you know. See if we can get you some information because they're gonna run the same.
Mhm.
You may not have as many guests as far as like known voice actors. Like you might have, let's just say you had Steve Bloom in, or let's just say you had Phil Lamar coming in. That's your big guest.
Mhm.
Boom. Everybody else might just be, he might be your speaker, your lead speaker. You might have some lower tier guests, and that's fine, or you may not, and that's fine too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But you at least you have something to draw. Start talking about it. As long as you got that locked in, if you can get it locked in, just find a hotel that's willing to do it. It's steps. It's steps. But we can get you in touch with some people that can help you out.
I've been saying we need to have just a Black Mafia sit down because every con has one thing that another black con has, and then we just need to pull up a chair from each family at this point.
Yeah, because no one, there's no competition. I don't care
Right.
what that other side says. There's no real competition. what this convention offers something different than what this convention will offer. Even if it is the same weekend, it may not even be in the same city. Most of the time, it isn't. But they're definitely going to offer something different.
But to stress that again, like Tafari said, there's simply no competition.
Right.
Everybody should literally be about the same mission, the same purpose. Mm-hmm. There is no head. Wow, almost there's no tribal chief. There is no head person. It was on the tip of my tongue. I just got through watching wrestling. But no, it's the whole idea of it should be one central mission that everybody's behind. And I dare say it, look at what these other groups of people are doing. They get together and they pump up their own businesses. They pump up their own people, and we could wind up doing the exact same doggone thing if we all come to the same conclusion. That's it. It's that simple, really. Just don't be Rick Ross about it.
That angry, fill out a feedback form. We're going to TikTok with your head ass.
Thank you.
Can we stop? Can we stop people going to TikTok and airing their? There's nothing wrong with free speech, but there's a lot wrong with just running your mouth.
That part.
Unfortunately, that platform has not. There's no way of curbing that because it's monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what
it's funny you say that because it's a guy. He did a video. I think it was in our group chat, and he was doing a response to a video, which we've seen plenty of times. Like if you're gonna do that kind of thing, do a stitch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to see you in the video. Just I don't need to see you in the video. It's not necessary. But you're doing a response to something, let them do their piece, then do a stitch. That's what it's there for. If you can't find the police where to cut it off, then don't do it at all. Just repost the video.
Don't pull a Manny.
I
will find a way to sashay that in every episode.
You and me both. I'm not even gonna lie.
I still think that's a burner account, or I'm waiting to see what that comment says. But to Lizzie's point about like trifling stuff, like some of the venues do be trifling. Because I'm glad y'all like the Phil Lamar stuff, because that was not an easy day to accomplish. That was 3 days of head assery and lots of emailing. Just getting to the emailing was the easy part. Getting that to happen,
It was
never again.
Phil Lamar was 4 years in the making. Because I had interviewed him once before, and then Tafari interviewed him. It was 4 years in the making. It was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Con did not make it easy, and then even with some of the non-melanated people who work at these venues, because ask Daquan DreamCon when he almost had a whole episode backstage.
and see, I'm glad you mentioned that because I did Fan Expo Cleveland, and there were tons of celebrities there that I would have loved to sit down and just got a few minutes with.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the makeup of how it's ran, it was not going to happen. Because Fan Expo, Dragon Con,
Galaxy Con,
they're not set up like a Blerd or a J1 or even a DreamCon. They're not set up like that. Where you get it's a little more freer, it's a little more relaxed. You can actually get a little more access to whomever it is you're speaking to. You just got to know how to bump your gums. But these type of events, these people they come in, they may or may not be there Friday. Well, they're there Friday, but they're not on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably in a hotel resting, and then Saturday and Sunday ain't nothing but autographs, photo ops, panels.
Most of them, I feel bad for the celebrities who come to Galaxy cons like that because they're open to the business owners who want to get all of their stuff signed so they can resell it. My friend went to get in line for Chris Sabat. If y'all know who Chris Sabat is, then you already know. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
She said she was in line for 4 hours because there was one nigga who had a wagon full of stuff for him to sign, and it took almost 2 hours because
they didn't shove him off.
Now I see why.
I've heard people put limits though. They're like, "Hey man, I can do 5 things at this con max. Please don't pull up with a wagon, a cart. Don't bring up all 5 of your kids with 10 different things apiece." Like, there's a limit.
Stuff like that will bother you to know.
Yeah, he
Even
was
with
gracious
the
enough
Quans
to
thing,
do
that
it.
was backstage in like the hangout area with the other creators, and I
Mhm.
guess one of the not a volunteer, but I guess someone on the staff of the venue, I guess saw his badge and was like, "You can't be back here," even though someone brought him, and he
Mhm.
was like, "I tried to play it cool, but it's like y'all know where I'm from and how I talk, and I guess that came off as aggressive." So then this other dude jumped in, and I was like, "I can either make a scene right now, and make it weird for everybody, or not blow up my friend's event and just walk off." So I walked off. So by the time I saw him and Ozzy, I went to go. All I was, "Yeah, that nigga whole bitch." And then him and Ozzy had to have a huddle. He's like, "No, man, fuck all that." I said, "I'm gonna leave it alone," but still, man.
But see, and that's another thing. We go to these events to have fun. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, you going to get such and such autograph?" I have to be really hard pressed to get somebody's autograph.
Mhm.
I don't care who it is. I have to be really hard pressed because, especially in the space that we're in, I want to talk to you because that's going to give me more validity.
Yeah.
If you gave me an autograph, fantastic. It ain't going nowhere. I'm keeping it. I'm not reselling it. You know, not even showing it off. I see it one day. Kids will see it like, "Oh, I didn't know that Cree Summers signed your book." Yeah, I told you I met her. Thought I was lying. Thought I was lying. I got it on video. You know, so so you know, it's stuff like that. I'm like, I've seen those people when they get 6, 7 books. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do be mindful of the people that's around you. Bring 1 or 2 books. Be considerate. Yeah, bring 1 or 2 books and let them sign that and move on.
Right.
You know, because now you're sitting here and you're taking this person's time, and you might have a kid behind you who just realized who Phil Lamar is, and the person in front of him's got like 10 items, and because Phil's such a great guy, he's gonna take his time with his fans. But then he gets to this kid, and it's like you done burnt this kid's time out,
right?
You know, because he was busy signing the fucking Bible that the basement virgin had in front of him.
I'll go say, beware, basement virgins. We do have wet burritos with your name on it.
Wet burritos.
Or a guy like me.
Shout out to Lizzie, super sticker.
Well, hey, Lizzie. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, Lizzie.
This is what support looks like, people.
Wet burritos.
Wet burritos.
We leave the wet hot pockets for the real offenders. Okay.
We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. We got a little videos. We got a couple of reactions we're gonna check out.
Put your fist up in the air. Yeah, in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black. In the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Flying high, I emerge through the flames. Have no fear, I'm here, so stand back. Melanin activate, the name is super black.